This is the Dental Up Podcast, brought to you by Keating Dental Arts, a full-service, award-winning dental laboratory. Each week, you'll learn tips and techniques from real-world dentists, bringing you in-depth interviews, motivating stories, current events, and sports. Here's your host, Sean Keating.
Hey everyone, Sean here. Welcome to another episode of the Dental Up Podcast. Our guest this week is a New Jersey native graduating from Rutgers School of Dental Medicine. He completed a general practice residency at Jersey Shore University Medical Center and has been certified by the American Academy of Facial Aesthetics. Currently practicing from Manhattan, New York, and also in New Jersey City, New Jersey. Please welcome Dr. Nick Ciardiello, DMD. How's it going, Dr. Ciardiello?
It's going great. How are you doing today?
Dude, thank you so much, man. I hope I didn't... Your name, that's an awesome name, man. I loved it. And
yeah, got it close enough.
Dr. Ciardiello. I'll call you Dr. Nick, man. That's just
that works.
I take it you're Italian, huh?
Yes, I am. My father's side, 100%.
That's so cool. Yeah, you look like a big Italian, man. I mean, it's pretty huge. Where we found you, you're in big time on the Instagram, and it's just it's really neat to see how many followers you got, and just for a dentist, you're just crushing it, man. And I got a lot of doctors in Jersey and a lot in New York, but not in both. But that's kind of cool that you're working both sides of the bridge there, I guess I would say, huh?
Yeah, so it's actually I always kind of wanted to do that. I wanted to work in the city a little bit, but I also wanted to be. So right now, I actually live right in Jersey City.
Okay.
So the place I work in Jersey City, it's Jersey City Dental. I literally live walking distance from there.
Oh, you're kidding.
And then so it's really convenient. And then 2 or 3 days a week, I work in Manhattan at Manhattan Dental Spa, and that's kind of in Midtown.
Okay.
So I get the best of both worlds, I think, because I live over here. I can have my car. I still feel like I get a city vibe, but I'm not, in the city all the time, living there, dealing with, the traffic and all that crazy stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
I get a little bit of both.
We fly in when we come into New York. We always fly into Newark, and so we get a little feel of New Jersey a little bit. But I always remember
that's my airport.
Is it? Oh, that's great, man. I always remember the Sopranos, though. I never really thought New Jersey was like that. It's just beautiful and wooded areas, and
no, it's like that. It's like the Sopranos.
They got the Bada Bing place out there, little strip joint.
Oh yeah, they have everything. Yeah,
they got that here too. But no, I love it there, man. But and I love my Jersey dentists are kind of tough guys. They're not.
Yeah, you got a lot over here.
No, not a whole lot, but they're just they're very They use their voices with me quite a bit when things, usually things are always going good, but when they don't, they'll let me know. And they're New York and New Jersey. I mean,
that Jersey mentality. Yeah, tri-state mentality. That's how it is.
They're tough dudes, man. You don't want. And we got the California guys here, and they're probably like, Sean, don't mess with me, dude. Let's get this now. No, they don't say the dude, but no, that's awesome, man. So good job. But hey, I always start off talking a little bit about sports. So, what do you think, man? Are you New Jersey Nets guy? Are you New York Knicks and basketball, football? Tell me who you like.
Basketball wise, I'm not a huge basketball guy.
Okay.
I did play a little bit in high school, but my big sport is baseball. So I played college in baseball too.
Yeah, I heard
I played baseball in college. Yeah, and my team, I'm a Yankees fan.
Okay.
Ride or die with the Yankees.
Yeah.
So you know how that goes.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then football guy, I'm a little bit weird. I'm a Packers fan. That's just because like my father's a Packers fan and his father's a Packers fan. It's something that's got passed down.
That's awesome. I got a lot of different dentists that when we talk about it, they're in different states, but Green Bay Packers are their team. And it's just it's just a very
they travel well.
Yeah,
they have fans all over the country,
Yeah, it's a trip how all the fans own the franchise too. And it's like, I think they got like a 20-year waiting list for people to come on or to even get seats.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of
crazy.
Oh,
diehards.
It totally is. So, that's cool. So what about with you in baseball? Now you are D1 playing baseball there, man. What position did you play?
So initially I started as a catcher my first 2 years. I was kind of more of a Yeah, I was like a hitter who was like a secondary catcher.
Okay.
And then by my junior year, the coach was just like, we don't really want to even mess with your knees or anything like that. Cause I'm a pretty tall guy for being a catcher too. 6'3" is kind of tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were like, why don't we just put you in left field and you kind of just smash the ball. And then that's pretty much what I did. I just I batted third or fourth. I just hit home runs. I kind of just relaxed in left field, and it actually went pretty well junior and senior year. So
no kidding.
No complaints. I did pretty well. Like I had the home run record at my school, RBI record. Like I was a good hitter, but fielding wise, obviously I was just kind of a left fielder who kind of just hit the cutoff man, kind of like Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
I didn't really worry about defense too much. But I did have some interest from some major league programs. But to be honest, like my parents, what they always like, especially my mother, was always like instilling in me like, baseball secondary, academics is first.
No kidding.
And that's pretty much so. Like I just had my head set on going to dental school, and I didn't even bother with the, kicking around the minors for a year. I have a couple of friends who did that. They did 2 or 3 years in the minors and didn't really get them anywhere. And, I didn't really want to do that.
Oh, I know. Hey, my best friend I grew up with, he was in the minors for 11 years.
Oh my God.
Kind of like Bull Durham movie, and he made it up. He got up for one game with the New York Mets, and then one game he got up with the Atlanta Braves, man. And it was at Angel Stadium.
Man.
But that he's made a career out of it since. He's been a scout for different, I think he's with the Seattle Mariners or whatever. And
okay.
So, but he does a batting. He has a batting CD, and he goes around and talks to little leagues, and so it's kind of like Rudy Rudiger. Rudy Rudiger. He played one play, but yet he's a speaker.
Lifer.
Life coach type thing.
Yeah, and I think if there's some point too in the minors, there's a certain amount of years, don't they? Like they start getting how many years did they start getting money after it? Right? Is it kind of like
I think he gets a little bit of a retirement or something after. I think it's 5 or something. But yeah, it's not ever going to get rich, but he has a little bit of a income from that, I think. But
he did what he loved for as many years as he could.
Oh, I know, it's so funny. I just see him. I made his teeth and about 15, 20 years ago, and we did these veneers, and I seen him a while back, like a year ago, and so I said, Steve, we got to redo this. So we sent him in a few months ago, and we redid them all, and he's just got a full set of teeth, and he loves it, man. He goes everywhere and tells everyone about my buddy Sean makes teeth, and it's like, oh gosh, that's funny.
The way to do it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, dude, let's go ahead and dental up. So tell me, Nick, why did you get into dentistry, and at what point did you think I want to be a dentist?
So, my parents, they both didn't, do any they didn't even go to college, my parents. So I kind of had no, direction in terms of what I wanted to do. I was like the second. My brother went to college, and then, he was the first and I was the second.
Okay.
I would say like my first year of college, I knew I wanted to do something medical. I just wasn't 100% sure where I wanted to go with that. And I remember coming actually back to my dentist in New Jersey, Dr. Vitale, and I just went for a regular checkup cleaning, and he was asking me the same thing. He's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, to be honest, I have no idea. He's like, you know what, why don't you come in and shadow me for a few days and see how you like it? Cause he obviously, I think he was the NJDA president. So like, obviously he loved the, dentistry. So I came in, I shadowed him for a few days, and, I really fell in love with it. So that's kind of where that came from.
No kidding.
And then,
yeah. As I'm looking too, dude, it's like you majored in mathematics, with a pre-medical dental concert. Mathematics is so tough, man. It's just some guys get it and some guys don't.
That wasn't easy. I kind of fell into it because for the way my school was, I went to Holy Cross in Massachusetts. Like you had to apply to the pre-med and pre-dental program. And if you started that your first year, you had to apply for that in high school. And then at the point when I was in high school, I didn't know I didn't want to do medical. So I was starting with the math because they had a requirement for calculus for the pre-med thing. So I started with that, and then I did good in calculus, and I took another math course. And then by sophomore year, when I declared, I was like, well, I've already taken 4 math courses and I got A's in them. So why don't I just major in that and do the pre-med pre-dental concentration?
Oh man, I couldn't even get through basic algebra in high school.
Tough by the end, man.
Oh, that's.
I was we had some courses my senior year, so my 4th year, the first semester, it was a dynamic analysis course. There was only 8 or 9 students in the class. And then the second semester, obviously during baseball season, it was the continuation of that course, and there was only 3 students in the class, and that included with me. And I was missing all these classes to go to baseball games on Fridays, so like I ended up missing like half the coursework just because I was going to baseball games every weekend. So like it wasn't easy.
But you still passed. I mean,
I still passed. Yeah, I still passed.
For us, it was D for diploma, man. But it was hard. But God, that's crazy. That's awesome that I just remember with algebra, if you miss 1 or 2 steps at the beginning, you just lost. You know, those
whole thing's messed up.
Those letters and stuff. What the heck are those letters? I mean, even too with arithmetic, you got to bring down the 0 or 2 zeros after 2 times. I mean, it's been
don't carry something, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I forgot it's back in elementary school, but nowadays, you know, you get a CFO to do your numbers for you, or you got a calculator, and it's
not a big deal.
I used to worry so much that I was too dumb, you know, where I wasn't really good at math. I mean, and it was just weird, and the sciences were kind of tough for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a big sports guy too. I mean, I did gymnastics and football, and I just thought that was going to be my life. And then my oldest brother, Kevin, was going to dental school, and I was in high school. He was making me my mouth guards, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to be a pro. And then when you're 5 foot nothing and 100 and nothing, you're not going to be a pro. So he goes, Sean, you could be a dental tech. And I'm like, okay. And so I always knew from like 8th grade on, I knew I was going to be a dental tech because, you know, it wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed for sure. But hey, it all worked out, baby. Now I got one of the biggest labs in the nation.
That's awesome.
It's so pretty cool. But well, so tell me, dude, tell me a little bit about your school. Now, my dad was born and raised in Dorchester, you know, Massachusetts, Boston area there. And how did you like being in Boston there? Isn't that a bitchin' place there? Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. So where my school was, it was in Worcester.
Yeah.
It's like 40 minutes west of Boston.
Okay.
But yeah, man, like I don't like the cold weather.
Yeah, exactly.
And where we were on like, I think it was Mount St. James, like a kind of like a little bit of a mountain. And like, I think we got the worst snow in Massachusetts. Like they'd be like, 2 inches everywhere else. It'd be like 10 inches for us.
No kidding.
And it was just like from where we were. And it was like, it was cold all year round. I mean, besides that, like the community was great there. It's a small school. I think there was like 2,500 students there, just liberal arts. You know, good small school, but man, the weather, I couldn't take it. I was pretty happy to at least come back a little further down to Jersey.
Oh, it's so crazy cold. We were just in Chicago for the midwinter, and my bones were aching, man. It was so freaking cold. It was only like 20 degrees, and they were saying, like a month
ago. It's hard to get up in the morning, man, when it's cold out. You're like,
wait till you get older, man. It's real tough, but it was like
everything starts creaking.
Yeah, and it was like 50 below like a month ago. It was like the coldest in Chicago and for years, but it was like 30 to 50 degrees with the wind chill factor below, and that's nuts with the wind going.
You can't even go outside.
Oh, I know. They said the cabbie that was driving us around, they said for 2 days, like a month ago when it was real 30 to 40 below or whatever, he said the whole town just shut down and everyone stayed in the house. And I said, dude, you got to count 9 months from now that there are going to be like 1 million babies, because what do you do when you got nothing to do, go in the house? You have make whoopee with your woman or whatever. So you know,
that's right.
So what we're trying to calculate, so say there's 1,000 babies born every day in Chicago, or 500. I bet you when it comes 9 months from that date, there's going to be like 4,000 kids that day. It's like, what the heck happened? And they're going to go, oh, that was the Great Freeze or whatever. That's weird. I don't know why I went there.
No, it makes sense. Makes sense. Nothing else to do.
Yeah, that's funny. But okay, so dude, tell me, did you start out as an associate or did you purchase practice? Tell me a little bit about when you got out of college, what you did and how it went for you.
Okay, so after college, I actually took 2 years off.
Okay.
Yeah, so
what you doing? Did you do a missionary or something?
No, so the way it was, like, I didn't finish my labs until the end of my 4th year because I was kind of a little delayed with baseball. I couldn't fit the labs in.
Okay.
So I knew I was going to take 1 year off just because I wanted to be first for the admission cycles and, you know, how the DAT goes. I needed time to study for it, and I didn't want to really do that during my 4th year, 2nd semester while playing baseball. It just wouldn't have worked out. So what I did was I actually was a personal trainer. I worked at like a fancy restaurant in town that my mother used to work at. So I was kind of like a waiter bartender for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when I did that, I took my DATs. I did so on them. And what I did was I actually did like an internship at Rutgers School of Dental Medicine.
Okay.
It's called like the Gateway. Yeah, it's called like the Gateway to Dentistry program. It's kind of like a 2 or 3 week internship where you have to apply to get in.
Okay.
And the great thing about that is like they give you like stuff to do hands-on, see if you obviously wanted to do dentistry. And besides that, you get to talk to the admissions faculty there. And you can kind of just ask them straight up, like, hey, this is my GPA from college. This is what I got on my DATs. What are my chances of getting in?
No kidding.
So at that point, when I did that, she was like, your GPA is great. You know, we don't have many Division I athletes applying to school, but you know, your DATs are kind of a little borderline right now. So, you know, maybe you should take it again and try to get a little bit higher, because I only took it once at that point.
Okay.
So at that point I was like, yeah, let's take it one more time. And by the time I did it the second time, I kind of was running. I was going to be a very late application in the cycle.
Okay.
And I obviously know that like, that's not good in terms of applying to dental school. They want you to apply it the first week, you know, just so you're on top of the list.
Yes.
So that's what ended up happening. So I was at that point, I was like, that's fine. I'll take one more year. Keep working, try to save some money. And then that's what happened. And then I applied to, I think, 13 schools, pretty much everywhere in the Northeast. And then I got 12 interviews, I think. And then I ended up obviously at Rutgers Dental School. Just, you know, it's in-state tuition. It made sense.
No kidding. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Man. So what about with, did you go to practice in New Jersey first or New York first?
So after after I did the 4 years of Rutgers Dental, I did the 1 year of residency that was down the shore in Neptune. And while I did that, I actually, because in New Jersey, you're not required to have a residency.
Okay.
So I was moonlighting during my residency. And where I was moonlighting, I was actually moonlighting down the shore in Manalapan, New Jersey. Like I was there for like 6 months or so. And then when I was done with the residency, I got hooked up through one of my attendings said he knew a guy in Jersey City that was looking for someone. So he got me in contact with him. I started talking to him. Meanwhile, during my residency, the practice that I work at in New York City actually found me on Instagram.
Okay.
And at that point, I only had like 15 or maybe 20,000 followers, but the owner in the Manhattan place started contacting me, and we were talking, and actually like, I think after 6 months of talking, he was like, I was, you know, approaching the end of my residency. He was like, hey, why don't you come in for an interview? So I went into him. I, you know, interviewed once, and then I went in one more time to meet the other partner there. And that's how I ended up getting the job in the city. And that was pretty much strictly through Instagram, which is wild.
And that's Dr. Vargas,
Yeah.
Right? Is that Dr. Vargas? Or
Dr. Vargas and Dr. Charnas. So
Yeah.
Dr. Charnas is the elder partner, and then Dr. Vargas is a little bit younger.
Yeah, Vargas looks pretty cool. He got kind of longer hair
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah, he's he knows his stuff too. He's taken all like those Coy, you know, Spear, Dawson. He knows his stuff.
That's awesome. Now, to learn from a guy
Yeah.
like that, are you doing any CE like that? Have you been out to see a Spear course yet or anything? Tell me a little bit about your CE.
I was just, you know, he was suggesting, like, personally, Dr. Vargas was saying he liked Spear the best.
Okay.
But I've been speaking to some people, just like other, you know, I'm friends with a lot of these Instagram dentists now too.
Yeah.
So I was speaking to a lot of them, kind of asking around, and to be honest, I think I'm going to start with the Coy one.
Yes.
That's
Dr.
what
John Coy,
like
he is such a stud. I had him here at my lab a few years back where I paid for him to come out and picked him up at the airport and brought him to the hotel, but brought him to the lab. And he's just that dude, man. It starts at 7 a.m. and he'll go nonstop till 6 at night. But he is just makes it so easy and breaks it down. And he is just all about teaching. And, you know, what he does is he teaches it to you and he makes it to where you understand it. And it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And I know the two, Spear and Coys. I just talked to Frank Spear at the Cal Lab meeting. I pulled him to the side. He was our keynote speaker, and I was in his face. Cool. I got a picture. My wife took a picture of me and him talking, and I'm like, got my hands in his face, like talking, and he's like, his look at me is like, what the heck's this dude doing?
What is this guy doing?
But no, if you could, man, either one of them are great. But going out to Seattle is kind of neat. But you need to do that. You're a young gun.
Oh,
shit, you're not even 30, are you, man? Wait, what are you, 29?
No, 29. Yeah, that's like I want to like take these courses and like now I'm good at like the marketing stuff.
Yes.
And like doing the social media. And now it's just like I want to get the clinical mastery that, all these dentists get from taking all these CU courses. So like that's why I was like, I'm going to probably start with the Koi one. Yep. But you know how expensive those ones are. I think the one I was looking at was like, it was a double one, so it was like 10 or 11,000.
Yep.
I was like, damn, that kind of sucks, but like it's going to be worth it. I know it. So
hey, well, maybe we can help sponsor you a little bit. Maybe help sponsor you a little bit, and we'll get you going so we can start doing those full rehabs together, baby.
Oh yeah, that's what I would love.
That's awesome. What's also neat is a lot of these guys do have the, it's better hands-on for sure being there, but they have some also online courses that are pretty neat.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's just something too with, if you can do a crown prep here and there, and you can connect the dots, and it's just all treatment planning, and that's where a great lab comes in. Let's just get study models and let's work it up together. And that's a whole thing with a collaboration between the dental office and the lab is so important.
Yeah.
And it's so easy once you get it down, but man, it's just it's a neat thing. And you got the hard part licked right now. I mean, because most doctors wish they had what you have with all the audience. I mean, you have got such a big following in social media. It's freaking nuts, dude. And shit, I'm looking at this one picture of you, Macho Man. Dude, you got juice there or something, man. You're beefy. That's a beefy picture, man. How you doing that?
Man, I've always been working out, and I was personal trainer for 2 years. Man, I've been working out since I was like 14 at this point. So like I'm probably 15 years into working out.
Yeah. No, that's like, just huge.
It's constantly, man. I was doing six or 7 days a week, and I still kind of do 5 or 6 days every single week. So it's just like I'm just used to it at this point. Like I was the one during dental school who would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym.
Yeah,
and everyone thought I was crazy, but like I did it every single day. It was just like something I was used to.
Oh no, it's really, you got some freaking huge guns, but you're just ripped, and it's you could tell. I mean, it's a lot to do with diet and stuff, right? I'm sure
it's pretty much mostly diet. I can take a couple of days off here and there, but if the diet's on point, it's not that big of a deal.
Oh, dude,
it's all the calories in, man.
So the 4,000 or 5,000 calories I'm eating a day and the 6-pack of beer each night, it's not I can't really get that ripped anymore, can I?
No, I can't do that. I mean, hey, I still have my cookies and sweets. Like I have a big sweet tooth. So on the weekends, I kind of relax a little bit and have some cookies. But during the week, I'm like super strict during the week. Like I just like, laser focused. When I'm working, it's easier for me to like not pig out, because I'm just focused all day working.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I see how, you work hard on the weekday. I mean, you got like almost 100,000 followers on Instagram. That's just, and they're all real followers. It's just a real neat thing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It shows that, you work, it shows your dental.
It's like a part-time job.
Exactly. Oh, I bet. And I see that, I work hard on the weekday and I party hard on the week. It shows you with this shirt off at like a concert with the horns up, and it's like, yeah. Yep. I'm like, look at this dude. That's awesome.
People love that one. They love seeing professionals like able to have fun,
Yeah.
That's kind of, it connects with a lot of the audience, because we're all like that. Like we all, like going out and having fun, doing what we like to do.
Hey.
But not many professionals are willing to show that,
No.
That's the thing that's
They're
also
all
tough.
Scared.
You gotta be careful about it.
Let it out there, baby. It's like, just be real. Yeah. And it's like most people, I go 100% in everything I do. I work hard, but I play hard. And I think the Lord likes that. He likes his children to go full out on everything, not just sitting there being meek at home and being safe. He wants you to live your life, man, and rewards those who do. But you also can hurt yourself here and there when you get stupid, like I do sometimes. But
just got to keep it,
kind of under control.
Keep the reins in a little bit.
I try to, but no, that's so awesome, dude. So, tell me a little bit about what you do with on some of the newer technologies. Are you looking into any of like the scanners as the practices you're at? Do they have any different things? Tell me a little bit about some of the equipments and some of the newer technologies.
So where I'm working at, when I was in my residency, we had the not the iTero, the Trios,
okay,
which I loved.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah, that was my favorite scanner so far. And now in Jersey City, we have the iTero, and we also have a CAD cam.
Okay.
The OmniCam one.
Okay.
So we do mill our in-house like crowns, usually posterior crowns.
Yeah.
We're using like the Straumann nice blocks.
Okay.
Which aren't bad. I think they come out actually pretty good. And then I know in my city place we do pretty much the iTero because we do a lot of Invisalign there.
Okay.
And then we're now just getting into using the restorative aspect of iTero, which I haven't really seen any yet from that. But I'm just used to the Trios, and the Trios for me, that was like
3 shape,
that
man.
was awesome.
That's the bomb.
Hell
it really is. It is so neat. And it's most expensive.
You guys work with all the?
Yeah, oh yeah. And
you guys work with all those? Yeah.
Oh heck yeah. I mean, it's Trios number 1, iTero second, and then True Def from 3M is third. But not a whole lot of CEREC.
They just came out Dentsply just came out Prime Scan?
Yeah, Prime Scan. Can you believe that? It's a CEREC basically, right? But yeah, it's the Prime Scan.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of crazy, but I think they're a little late to the show, but we'll see. There's several other companies are going to be coming out with more of them. You just need to get the pricing down on these. Get them down to 25 grand.
Didn't the Trios one just dropped a lot, didn't it? I think I just saw something that was like to 20 or 21,000 for the Trios.
Oh, I hope so.
Which is cheaper compared to what it was. Yeah, I saw something. I think at the Chicago Midwinter they made an announcement like that. They made it like more affordable for everyone.
Oh, that'll be good. They'll get some market share there because they're kind of getting beat up with that Align stuff with some of the
That's
not
the thing.
being accepted.
Yeah, if they could only work with Align, they would have it. They would have it.
It's kind of crazy, but Align keeps on meeting up with me because they got these new programs that for dentists. I don't know. I don't even want to get into it. It's just kind of now that their trademark and patents are all done. Now they want to go and try to do what they have to do to get their market share back. But I don't know. I think it wasn't cool what they did to where they closed it to where only iTero guys can do Invisalign.
Are you guys doing a lot of your like anterior aesthetic cases with digital scanning? Are you guys still using like traditional impressions for like your veneers and stuff?
We still have a ton of regular impressions, but we're up to about 30% now where it's all digital coming in. And we're doing a lot of these where it's even modelless. And it's so freaking amazing. We're taking a virtual opposing. You guys are scanning it. And we're doing it day in, day out. And it's so freaking accurate.
How are the aesthetics on that, though, for the anteriors? Is like still, because like, I mean, the aesthetics were great when I was using the Trios with the lab, but like I was, in terms of veneers and stuff like that, I was always afraid that it wouldn't be quite on as it would be like a Emax.
Yeah, I mean, most of the guys on veneers, they're kind of taking those impressions. I'm not getting a lot of scans for veneers, but it's something for full coverage. I can do any material I want. I can do a PFM. I can do an Emax. I can do a stacked jacket crown. We can pretty much do it out of however we want, but it's just such a accurate system where impression material likes to shrink and burp and bubble and do all that stuff. And, but it's changing to where more and more dentists are going to be scanning the stuff in the mouth. You'll still do your little temp.
More efficient.
Yeah, it really is. It's like I got some guys, with the CERECs, you can do 2-3 crowns a day or maybe 3 or 4 or whatever, in a couple hours a nut, each time. But with this, if you can go on and scan 20 preps just like that, boom, send it off digitally. You still got to have your assistant do the temps or however that works out with your practice. And
that's the one thing, like having the CEREC is like, it's great, don't get me wrong, but it takes a lot of chair time up, and my assistants here aren't trained yet in how to do a lot of the scanning. So, like, for me, it's like if it's a single crown, I have to schedule them for an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like it can get a little frustrating. If one thing goes wrong with the system, like sometimes there's a freeze in it or something like that, then all of a sudden you start sweating and you're like, darn, I just wasted these 2 hours.
Oh, it happens all the time. And you have a chip margin or
exactly. It happened to me the other day. I was doing 2 crowns on a patient. and I milled them both, but one of them I was just about to seat and chipped, and I was like, oh God, I just wasted 2.5 hours. I had to take another impression for that one and send it out.
Can you believe that? I know, man. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's kind of tough, but you got all those hot shots out there online. They're saying they're showing the CEREC stuff, but that's kind of like, the top 1% that has the hands of God.
A lot of that stuff, man, you see on Instagram, like they're doing these composites and they look like unreal. You're like, how are they what kind of practice are they working at that they'll be able to spend the time to do this?
Yeah. And it's the most talented dudes out there. And it's just for the average Joe that's trying to get their hands, and it's harder than heck. I mean, it's kind of I always use the analogy where you look in the magazine at puppies say you're getting a purebred puppy and you're looking at, French bulldogs or whatever. And you look at the picture of the 1 in a million dog and for this place. And that's what they're showing you, but everything else, they're not the same. And it's like same thing with the restorations. When Dr. Smith goes and does that CEREC in the mouth, well, it's behind the lip, it fits, baby. I ain't going to take no pictures.
Exactly. And especially when you start taking into a factor like insurance and stuff like that, and then you have these dentists who would need to stack these patients in order for them to make any sort of money.
Yeah. It's just amazing how that stuff works out like that. But what advice can you give some of our newer dentists just starting out? It's because you've been in there a while now. Tell me, what kind of advice can you give some of the other people starting off?
I think the most important thing is to find a practice that you really like and who's going to teach you. Because I've gotten lucky with the 2 places that I've worked at. I have very good bosses. They're willing to teach me a lot. And this is kind of like essentially free learning. I'm still learning, and I can learn from these guys every single day. Obviously there's plus and minuses to both places. But being able to have these mentors who are here every single day teaching me, I'm constantly learning, and I'm not just coming in and drilling and filling. I'm actually learning different stuff every day.
That's awesome.
And I think that's probably the most important thing, because to me, I just want to keep increasing my clinical skills every day. That's my goal. So that's definitely, probably what I think one of the most important things for new dentists.
No kidding. Yep. That's good words right there, buddy, for being so young, and you're crushing it already, man. But just with your media presence and all that. And I know how tough it is. Like you said, it's almost another job, but I think
exactly.
You were really set for greatness. I mean, being so young there, and I see you really in the very near future. Maybe you work for these guys for a while, but maybe down the line you do your own practices, and as you grow, you've got to put your time in. But I think with if you can harness, because I see you being up, you'll be at 500,000 people before you know it. And I think if you can get through to that audience that, hey, Dr. Nick will take care of your teeth. So wherever you're at over the U.S., they're going to go in and say, I want to go to Dr. Nick. Or, and
I've already gotten a lot of that so far. So it's already been working. And I haven't even you can tell my page, I'm not a big promoter of come to see me. I try to keep it fun, try to stay funny like that. And I'm not promoting myself too much for some of these pages they're promoting themselves every single post.
Exactly.
I think it's better to form the personal connection with these people, with the followers and patients, rather than just trying to push myself and tell these people to come, because they will come. I've already had a lot of patients come through Instagram, and it's been great.
Oh, that's so cool. And it's so true there on the words there. Soft sell or no sell, and the people will see that and they'll come to you. And that's what we try to do. But man, it's just something, you really got it down, man. And my hat's off to you, man. I can't thank you enough for coming on the podcast here. And I want to do another one. I want to do another one. Maybe we'll do 6 months or a year out. We'll do it again, and we'll see how things have changed for you. And maybe we could talk about some of the cases we're doing and stuff like that. But man, that's so awesome, dude.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Man, thanks again for coming on the Dental Up podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And
I love it. Thank you.
Oh man, well, thanks again, Dr. Nick, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks again for having me.
All right, buddy. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us on the Dental Up Podcast Show this week. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or search the Dental Up Podcast on iTunes for our weekly feed. Don't forget to visit KeatingDentalArts.com/promo for exclusive offers. Keating Dental Arts is a full-service dental laboratory, and we're nationwide. We'd love for you to send us a case so we can show you the Keating difference. If you dig what you heard, please leave a review on iTunes, and we'll be back next week.